welcome y'all to Backwoods Obscura, a podcast dedicated to the lore, legends, and myths surrounding the creatures that may lurk in your backyard. My name's Hewitt.
I'm Chris.
Hey man, how you doing?
Hey, I am good.
Good?
I've had a pretty good day today.
Saw some ducks.
I saw some ducks. We had a rubber duck festival on the river. What's funny about it was, they put all the rubber ducks out there, and I'm assuming they thought it would, be a big spectacle, but the river has been up recently. So it's very wide. So you just see this small patch of ducks on the river that are just floating.
Well, I mean, they were like, you could get 10, or you could get like 5 ducks for 50, or 6 ducks for $50.
Yeah.
Did y'all stick around long enough to see who won?
Yeah, we saw who won. I don't recall. We saw like with our eyes who won, but we didn't. I don't know who won.
Because the thing that I love about it is they had a winner for first place and the very last duck to actually get there. Also, how many ducks are just stuck in like a tree root or on the edge of the river or under the bridge?
There was actually like a cryptid moment. We were watching it and we saw what my wife and roommate were like, oh yeah, this is, there's something in the water. There's something in the water. Chris, do you see that? I'm like, yeah, it kind of looks like, it might be like a fish or something. It's like, no, I think it's someone swimming. So we all pull out our phones and zoom in. It looked like a log. What is it called? The log when it's floating
straight up and down like I don't know. I hate to say this. I know that's called a dead man float when it's poo.
Yeah, no, if it was poop, it would have been huge.
You mean it's Bono?
It's Bono. Bono would have been in there. But aside from that, we went and got some new spices and teas and sugars. Ruby got her favorite cinnamon because she likes making cinnamon apples. She just tosses some cinnamon on some apples, dusts them. Yeah, I got me some Chipotle chili powder. Nice.
My favorite tea is no longer carried. Actually, 2 of my favorite teas are no longer carried by the Spice and Tea Exchange.
Which ones?
Russian Caravan and Bohé. They stopped carrying their roasted teas like that because I and 3 other people were buying them.
Isn't that how it goes?
I mean, it's kind of like my favorite beer, Old Rasputin.
Hard to find because no one drinks it.
Well, no, it's not that nobody drinks it. It's just over here they don't because
it's a very niche beer.
It's also a wood stain.
Yeah. We also got pho from a place.
Ooh.
Like from a legit Vietnamese restaurant that has just opened up here.
Yeah. Naruto Ramen's going to open over here near us soon. So it's going to be like an actual ramen bar next to a Indian buffet.
I've heard about the ramen bar.
Em and I also want to try the Indian buffet. I'm sorry, my eye is like smudgy.
Yeah, no, you're fine. No one can see it. So.
No. It's just one of those like I've rubbed it and now my brain goes
rub it more.
But what if you rub it more? But no, the only reason we haven't gone to the Himalayan buffet yet,
or the Himalayan Cafe?
Oh no, not it's owned by the. I think it's owned by the people that have the Himalayan Cafe. But the reason we haven't gone to the Indian buffet yet is because of Vincent. Vincent probably wouldn't eat a lot of stuff from there.
It's a very okay if you're raised on like a Western.
Well, it's not even that with his like. I'm very much with that type of diet, but I'm still gonna go. You have how many curries?
Yeah.
I want all of them. But my son being on the spectrum, he's not going to want to try certain things. Like he is very much like we go out. We go to the Chinese buffet, chicken strips, pizza, French fries, fish. Like
I mean, it makes sense because it's tried and true.
Yeah, but also here's the deal. I don't eat fish. The fact I watch my son destroy a catfish fillet makes me happy because, like, my texture issue is fish. Like, I don't like that flaky, fall apart.
See, I love the flaky fall apart.
I know. Yeah. Like, also, I've got some other stuff like my brain turns any fish into the Gordon's fish. Like, okay, and I found out it wasn't even Gordon Fisherman's fish sticks that I was given as a child. I had off-brand, but it was still a yellow box, so that you could make that mistake back in the 80s. But it was one of those, like, I remember eating those, and no matter what fish, like, you've seen me cook a tuna steak right for M. And I've gotten a bite of that still had, like, that wonderful pink.
Yeah. To where it's like perfectly cooked and everything.
And I've bitten into that, and it's still, my brain goes.
Have you had like raw fish before?
I've had salmon. I've had smoked salmon. I haven't had raw fish because a lot of times with sushi it also has nori, and I'm allergic to seaweed.
True.
So it's one of those of like seeing him like just decimate fish makes me happy because I'm like, all right, you don't have that issue. You have an entire level of protein access that I don't. And that he's like, Daddy, you want to try fish? No, I do not. You enjoy it, son. It's just for you. He's like, my special. I'm like, yeah. That got creepy though.
But no, I mean, that's something to be proud of because, you know, your son is doing something that you feel that would be hard to overcome, which is like
from personal experience. Yeah.
Yeah. And people don't realize that like food issues can be. Okay, so I put a difference in people that are like, I hate greens because they're green and that's for rabbits, versus someone that has like.
So you mean my brother-in-law's?
Yeah, versus people that have actual texture, like you have it with fish, and I think you have it with certain fruits too.
I don't like berries. Like, yeah. Okay, I also don't like strawberries because, and here's the thing, I need to start trying strawberries again because since we were kids, they're being engineered to have less and less seeds. And that's all, like, kind of like for a while I didn't like sunflower seeds as a kid because I had braces. Getting all that stuck in your teeth, but like blueberries and grapes, like that.
Yeah.
Also, I will go ahead and say this. Cantaloupe is an abomination, but not as bad as honeydew.
You see, honeydew is one where I am like okay with. Cantaloupe I can't stand.
Cantaloupe gets put into fruit salad just to get rid of it.
Like Ruby loves cantaloupe. She puts salt on it.
That might save it. Now I've learned I like watermelon.
I love watermelon.
Like I really didn't like watermelon for a long time, but I ended up liking watermelon. What was that? 2 years ago when we did the first. Was it the first when we did the first of the Hot Wings challenges, and someone brought us watermelon, and I was actually.
I mean,
Emily was staring at me because I ate probably 6 pieces.
It's good. Like, of all the melons you can get, that one is the sweetest and has.
I think I had to get past that it doesn't taste like fake watermelon, which is what I don't like.
Yeah. But anyway, we're getting on a tangent here.
We were going on a tangent about some things that people might find gross. So let me talk to you about un gros betaille.
Un gros betaille?
Now, I'll go ahead and say at the start of this episode, before at the end, most of my information came from Weird South and Louisiana Dread. Which, by the way, if you have not watched the YouTube channel Louisiana Dread, it is full of Louisiana history, Louisiana lore, ghost stories, and mythologies. And it is absolutely wonderful. Go watch it. It's extremely consumable because I think the longest video might be like 12 minutes. Also, he has some cooking. He has like some cooking videos too.
God, we need to make some cooking videos.
You can. I don't. You do cooking. I'm the assistant Waffle House chef. Like, I don't make anything pretty, but damn if it doesn't taste good.
But anyway, what is this creature?
Okay, so I'm going to describe un gros betaille. So, it is a large bestial creature. Sometimes feline, sometimes canid, sometimes insectoid, sometimes humanoid, sometimes a hairy humanoid. Now, betaille means unknown beetle, worm, insect, or beast, and gros means large in French. So, it is the big bug, or the big monster, the big thing.
I already don't like this.
So, let me throw something out there. Do you remember long ago in the before times the Magic the Gathering set called Unglued? That was all the joke cards.
You know, I don't, because I was never a big Magic the Gathering fan.
I have built and sold or had thrown out by family 3 different types of Magic. So in any case, Unglued was a joke Magic set. And one of them that you had was you had to play 2 cards to play the big fucking monster. The BFM. And that's kind of what Un Grosse Betaille is. So, let me go ahead and give you some sightings, because this one has some documented sightings.
Oh, it's documented.
Actually got published in the newspapers.
Ooh. I mean, that's a low bar, though.
Oh, here's the deal. The Times-Picayune still actually publishes the Times-Picayune.
Really?
Or the Advocate's the original, and there's a new Times-Picayune, which is owned by Gannett, so... Anyway, so in 1942, Anton Lacrosse spotted a large black dog with ill intent while plowing his fields. I don't know how a dog shows ill intent.
It growls?
Here's the deal, like growling, I would get like, you would just say growls. Like, did this dog like just stand at your fence looking like, I'm going to steal your 401k?
He had ill intent. He's like, hey, yo, your car, I'm going to key it.
Your boots, shitting them.
Oh, yeah. You see that nice new shirt you have? I put a hole in it.
Hey, you see them eggs? I ate them.
I ate your eggs.
Anyway, so his dog, which I've seen Blue, Baby, and Boy. Who would name your dog Boy?
That seems racist. That feels racist to me.
Well, the evil dog was a black dog. His dog had never had its coat mentioned in the story, but I'm kind of getting that.
Well, I mean, I'm glad the coat wasn't mentioned.
Yeah, I get it. But so anyway, so his dog fought the evil dog.
The evil dog was black. Okay.
Well, we're going to get to that because it connects to some of the other story. I'm connecting this to a couple other creatures because Grosse Betaille is kind of a umbrella. So he ran from its gaze because it stared at him with such intent that the dog made him uncomfortable. Like, I looked at him, and he looked at me, and he's in jail because he deserves to be.
So the dog was like, yo.
The dog just is sitting there like, cue like weird music in the background.
And
like,
the bug is just like, nah, you know.
The farmer's just like, nah. So his dog was never seen again.
Or, okay, it's the farmer. I'm not listening.
Okay, the farmer's dog was just never seen again. And so that's into that story. Then in the 1940s in Prairie Basse, or Basse, B-A-S-S-E.
Basse?
No, nothing happens in Basse.
Oh, okay.
Report of a large wolf-like creature killing dogs, poultry, and smaller livestock and threatening children. Was killed by a group of townfolk as it killed the Parsons dog in one version of the story and just killed another dog in the story. It had a large mouth, thick, spiky fur, and it had a big, heavy shoulders and a thin rear. We're going to get to that when before I move into the supernatural, I'm going to describe what this creature could be.
It's got that thin rear.
Yeah, it wasn't thick.
It's not voluptuous.
It was mid at best. And, who's evaluating a dog's ass?
I mean,
there's people who would, yeah, but let's not get into that. Also in the 1940s in St. Landry Parish, reports of a big black cat killing things along the bayou. You want some fun? They blamed it on Florida.
I mean, that's an easy one, right?
Well, okay,
there.
So this one is basically with the rest of this story from St. Landry Parish in the 1940s describes a panther. It describes, a solid black jaguar is what it describes, just like the one we have at our zoo at the Louisiana Purchase Garden and Zoo. It was a large, solid black feline that was killing livestock and dogs, and at the same time, there had been reports of this in Florida and southern Mississippi, because one actually got out of a zoo or escaped a circus, depending on the story. So, large predatory cat getting out. Numerous reports of large red-eyed canids through Chafalaya are also attributed to Grosse Betaille. So, before we move into the supernatural stuff and some of the other things that I believe this is connected to, this sounds like a wolf. Like, it's a large wolf-like creature, which we don't really have those in Louisiana, but years and years and years ago we did. But It'd be really weird for just one to get down. Two, most likely wild dogs.
You know, you're gonna think I'm dumb here. I was sitting here thinking it was a giant bug.
Well, the thing is that there's other creatures that get listed on, like the Mothman, which fall underneath the title of Grosse, Betaille. So the thing is like I've got a bunch of other stuff connected to this because of the term. But for the most part, most of the stories I found described a large canid, and then there was one of a large feline. And here, so I mean, here's the deal. It's like the one that's talking about that was in Prairie Basse. Large, heavy shoulders, very thin back, large, wide jaws. That's a hyena. Which, let's be honest, with the way things were, a hyena escaping from a circus or a oddity show.
Who is it? El Chapo had hippos.
Had hippos.
That they're now just out there, right?
Yeah. The inbred descendants of the coke hippos are still down there. And the reason I can say coke hippos is because he fed them bricks of the stuff to see what it would do to a full-grown hippo.
That's kind of fucked up, actually.
It is, because one, it could have killed the hippo, but two, it also cues the song Dumb Ways to Die. So many dumb, because he had these things in his pool. And when he got them, they were little, and he swam with the hippos. But here's the deal. Hippos don't stay little for long, because even a little hippo is still about 500-600 pounds.
I've seen their mouths. They're big.
They can technically swallow a human and spit us back out because we're not what they eat.
They big.
Yeah.
And they maul.
They're the most dangerous creature in Africa. And nobody thinks that because they look like lumpy sea cow potato.
No, I think that they look scary. No.
You want another thing that's really scary about them? They don't actually swim.
What do they do?
They run and jump off of the bottom of the water aggressively at you. So you know the video of the boat that has like a hippo gaining on it, just like charging full tilt? That's not a hippo like being an Olympic swimmer. That dude is literally hitting the bottom and jumping forward and running as aggressively as his chunky ass could.
That reminds me of the video of the guy on the boat where there's a moose that's running with the boat on the water. And it's like the moose is in the water, but it's running.
Well, you understand a moose is a freight train, right?
Yeah.
So, I mean, like, megafauna aside, back to this. So, my explanation, like, the skeptic part of my brain is just, it's a wolf, it's a wild dog, it might be a hyena that got out. Apparently, Florida's just throwing jaguars at people, which, you know what, that might be the most believable one.
So,
because I don't put anything past Florida.
Dog, it's like some sort of zoo animal.
That's my thing, is what I'm thinking. Because, again, the description of this, like, big, large, heavy front end, thinner back end, large jaws. That sounds like a hyena. Also, it's several description had spiky fur. Look at a hyena. Its mane is extremely coarse. And, I mean, they could get out. Now, I mean, getting from New Orleans all the way to St. Landry or getting from Florida all the way to Louisiana is not easy. I'm just saying it's possible. We had a cougar. We had a mountain lion escape from our zoo and make it 3 parishes south before someone shot it in their deer stand.
Shit happens.
Yeah.
It makes me very worried about the zoo down south.
Well, I mean, it's better now.
Would it be down south? Is the zoo south of us? Yeah, I mean, it'd be that way. So.
Well, they're remodeling it, but they've done better. But I mean, the time period we're looking at, man, is... Have you been to the Audubon Zoo?
Where is that at?
In New Orleans, Audubon, in Audubon Park.
I think, yes, I have.
Okay, so today, a lot of the exhibits are in new enclosures, but the snake house, the fish house, the bird house, and the seals are all ABC projects from the Great Depression. A lot of our zoo, like remember before they tore it all down, the extremely depressing enclosures for the tiger and lions that were bars on concrete?
Yeah.
That type of stuff was built during this time, and it would not be hard for me to believe that something got out, because it was not what we do to be humane now. It was literally concrete and cages. Like, one of the most depressing things I've seen is there's a picture at the Memphis Zoo of when they built the new lion enclosure, and their 20-year-old lion got to touch grass for the first time in his entire life.
Oh, jeez.
And you just watch a cat. Okay, I shouldn't say watch. You see several pictures of a cat touch the grass, look at it like, the fuck are you? And then the cat's just doing, like, rolling on its back and flipping and just having the time of its life because it's decided that, you know, nature has finally come to me.
It's like, oh, wow, grass exists. This is cool.
I don't know what this is. I love this. Very quickly, this is mood. Now, let's move from this possibly being a escaped zoo animal, pack of wild dogs type situation to the supernatural. So, a superstition from Kaplan, Louisiana is if you hear the dog howling at night, somebody you know is dying. It's seen as an omen in a lot of the accounts. Red eyes and a piercing stare. They follow most description of Grimm's hellhounds and black dog sightings, which I'm not going to lie, due to some experiences I've had, I 100% believe in black dogs. And I'm not talking about dogs that have a black pelt. I'm talking about the fae / supernatural creature that is a black dog, because I have seen some weird stuff.
Are you talking about like shadow dogs?
Not like shadow dogs. I'm talking about, and I'll go through some of this. This is, like, again, because I'm the one that usually starts heavily crapping on things or saying that it's fake. I 100% believe in black hounds. Like, these things are real. There have been too many sightings. I've seen them. It could be 100% explainable, but it was weird. So, gonna go ahead and say here, this is not Hewitt being skeptical. This is something that falls within the, that's real to me. So the first one is, let me just give you some black dog lore. They are unnaturally large black canids. They usually are reported having glowing eyes. They're seen as an omen of death or bad luck. They are known to be at crossroads, barrows, places of execution, and ancient forgotten pathways. They're mostly malevolent, but there are a few good boys in this mix of doggos.
That's good. I like a few good boys.
So again, 4th, 5th time we've mentioned crossroads. So again, this is one of those things that, because we both 100% believe crossroads have weird crap happen.
There's something weird about crossroads. Like, if you've ever been going anywhere in the middle of the night, or if you've ever just traveled to where you're just in the middle of nowhere, no one around, and you hit a crossroads, it is a kind of a weird experience.
Well, what accompanies Legba or the devil?
Yeah,
a big black dog. Good. But let me start with the good boy. Let me start with the Grimm, or the church Grimm. They are large black dogs, again with glowing eyes. They protect graveyards and churches. This is where it gets depressing, though. So there was a European belief that the first thing buried in a graveyard, or the first thing buried after a new church, or when a church was being built, its soul would be trapped here forever, and they could not put that on a human. So, whenever a new church was built in Europe, or a new graveyard was built, the first thing buried in it was a dog that had been killed. Sometimes they were buried underneath the northern corner of the church foundation in a stone crypt. But because of this, the psychopomp that would develop would be a dog, and the dog would usher the souls of the consecrated dead buried in the cemetery to the afterlife. So a good boy takes you home, leads you to heaven so you can go there, or is like, nah, bitch, you get to go to hell.
It's like the dog sitting there. It's like, yeah, we're just walking this path. It's like, oh yeah, we're going to heaven, right? Sure.
I'm sorry, Davey.
They get to the gate. It's like, oh yeah, by the way, this is hell. And he opens the door, and you just see the tentacles come out. It's like, no.
We just made an awesome short horror story. Now, the thing is that this dog protects the graveyard from grave robbers.
Oh, that's cool, dude.
Also
right there.
Fights ghouls.
That's cool. Oh, hell yeah.
Might kill and drag the grave robbers to hell. Gets a little bit more metal on that one. It's like, you rob a grave, it's yours now.
You wanna dig up this grave, or you're digging your own grave now? Woof. Get in there, woof woof, motherfucker.
So they attack trespassers at night. They'll protect the church from people that are supposed to go in it. Now, odd version of this, a very odd variant of this that I thought was incredibly cool, is that some versions of the Grimm are not dogs. They're actually boars and sows. They are pigs. So and the reason I put this is some versions, boars guard the graves. Here's the deal. Like an Irish wolfhound coming out like in the middle of the night staring me down, that's terrifying. A pig. Like
just out of nowhere.
Like a full-grown pig steps, I'm like, oh no, that pig's been eating dead bodies, because they'll do it. But no, it also...
here's the thing, too, when it comes to pigs. I just want to get this out.
They're scary.
Like, if you've never seen, like, a pig in real life, they are bigger than you imagine.
Like, most people see, like, a potbelly pig. But here's the deal. A full-grown potbelly pig?
Huge.
Is still big. It's not as big as...
I used to know someone that had a pig as a pet, and you won't be able to see it on...
They can be 3 foot high at the shoulder. But the thing is unlike a dog, they solid, they thick. Pigs were bred. We have raised every species of hog on this planet that is not wild was raised for meat, which means we have raised them to big, fat, chunky, fat boys. So either they are for meat or for fat. But the thing is that even wild pigs, especially if like a pig from a farm gets into the mix of wild pigs, that's when you get hogzillas. So all of a sudden you get like an 8 foot long, nearly 2-ton pig. The land hippo.
The fucking just... okay, so Princess Mononoke, the opening scene.
Yes, the forest god, yes.
Just going through there, and you just see the giant boar with the fucking shit.
But this is the term is, a lot of times they would do it with a female pig because they were not as aggressive and they were considered more motherly, so it came up with the term of grave sows, which sounds like a part of an orc army. Like, Grave Sow would be an awesome black metal band title or name.
Man, save that for me, because if I ever start making music...
You want to be Grave Sow?
Yeah.
So that's the Grimm. They're the good boys. So I'm moving into Barghess and Hellhounds. So Barghess, specifically most times you hear about Barghess, is talking about the Barghess of York. They are Fae, maybe a ghost Fae. Just like Pokemon, Fae, they can have multiple types. Can shapeshift to other animals or a headless man. 100% a omen of death, straight up.
Oh, that's cool.
Will follow funerals with other dogs, but there will be one that is of a disproportionate size. And okay, to quote something that I've used in our Monday night game and other games, it looks like a dog.
You never want it to just look like a dog.
No, it needs to be the animal. It doesn't need to look like...
It's like, it doesn't need to look like a horse. It needs to be a horse.
It doesn't need to look like a man.
It needs to be a man.
Okay, unless...
That's
you know what? Let me be honest. I'd much rather meet Bigfoot in the middle of the woods than just a dude.
That's fair. Yeah.
I feel like I would 100% rather meet Bigfoot than just a dude in the middle of the woods. Like, I'm not talking about like he's a lumberjack or something, just like...
A dude.
Just a dude.
Well, here's the thing. If you meet... Okay, we can even demystify this. If you see a bear in the woods, you at least understand the intentions of the bear, right?
It's a bear.
If you see a man in the woods, you don't know their intentions.
No. It could be awesome dude that takes you home for like apple pie and stuff, or you are the apple pie.
Yeah. Now, or they would just shoot you and just leave you there. You don't know. You don't know what they're going to do.
It's a terrible thing. Now, its bark signals that someone will die. If it wounds you, your wound will never heal.
Oh, that's not good.
Can be invisible, and when it's invisible, it doesn't get the benefit of being invisible. It sounds like rattling chains when it's invisible.
Okay, so... I mean, I could see that if you... Okay, in Pathfinder, I'm going to mention Pathfinder.
Yeah.
Sound is our hearing is an imprecise sense.
Yep. Also, fun fact about Barghest is they cannot cross rivers, and sometimes they look like goblins. Which,
Okay,
if you ever look at D&D, the Barghest looks like a deformed goblin. They are dropped off in a goblin horde by their fiend or fae, depending on the edition. They're dropped off in a horde of goblins, and they become a goblin. They start growing unusually large for a goblin, and they can actually be they will look like a goblin, maybe almost the size of a hill giant, and they will start eating other goblins. They can also take the form of a very large, black, misty dog. So, and this has been referenced in Legend of Drist, and I think it was in like 2nd edition / early 3.0. So, it's one of those that the Barghest mostly is identified as a large black dog, but it can be, it's a shapeshifter. But it falls underneath the Grosse Betaille. Now, the other one are hellhounds, a.k.a. shucks. Shucks.
Oh, shucks.
Well, shuck is an old English word that translates into modern English as devil. And us saying all shucks is actually a warning to try to shoo away devils. So
you'd be like, oh, shucks.
You say all shucks after you made a mistake, so who are you blaming? The devil.
So this wholesome ass thing that I knew from my childhood is just like, oh, Satan.
Yeah, he's it's kind of like, why do you sing a lullaby? Lilith baby. Keep Lilith away from the baby.
Man, shit's dark, right?
Yeah. Ashes, we all fall down.
Anyway.
Now, a shuck is usually seen as a large black dog up to the size of a horse or a bull.
That's a big ass
dog. So we're moving in the dire wolf category. Not just like Irish wolfhounds that are like your height, but maybe my weight. Well, no, they're not chunky boys. That's more of a mastiff that is like my height and my weight. Irish wolfhounds are more like, I'm really tall and I don't weigh much, but I will mess you up. And it's like, yeah, that's because you're like 6 feet tall, dude. You're a big old doggo. It's one of those that, like, you always got to remember, just because they look skinny, big skinny things still weigh a lot.
Yeah. Dense bones.
Yeah. Well, not just that, is like, to quote Harry Dresden, he's nearly 7 foot tall and he's skinny, but that still means he's probably 250 pounds.
Yeah.
Like, he's not, like, 250 at 6'9" is not a lot, but 250 at 5'10" kind of is.
Yeah.
Also, no body shaming here. If you be you, the body index is full of bullshit.
We're talking about height and weight differentials. We're not. Yeah.
So, they're red eyes. Sometimes they have one singular eye in the middle of their head.
Oh, that's cool. I like that.
Now, there's sometimes, like, some hellhounds have one big burning red eye, like they are Sauron dogs.
Okay, so is it like a dog eye or a human eye, though?
Depends. Some stories say both. Some of them, it's just a giant burning orb.
Oh.
Now, they were noted for roaming the British eastern coastline in East Anglia. They're ghostly because sometimes they could disappear and reappear, kind of like the ghost lights we talked about. Their howl could kill you or make you sick. Like, they could just howl and you're dead, like a mandrake. Or they howl and you get the flu.
Damn.
Like, ow.
Oh, fucking kaput right there.
And you just, like, someone dies and then you get the influenza. Anyway, so their howl could kill you or make you sick. The most famous is going to be Old Shuck or Black Shuck. They talk about the same creature. Old Shuck ran into a church in Blytheburg, caused the steeple to collapse and kill people, and set everywhere his feet hit were set on fire, knocked the priest down, and then just left.
Oh, cool.
So he just, like, ran in and trolled a church.
That's cool. You know,
now, depending on the story, they may be the devil himself. They may be the devil's dogs. They may either be... and here's the one that I really love. Depending, like, the further north you go in East Anglia, they might be Frecky and Jerry, the wolves of Odin.
Is that where Frecky comes from?
Yeah, that Frecky... That's why there was a joke that long ago when we played Game Online, I put Frecky the Side Wolf. And Frecky sent me a message. Oh my god, do you know who Frecky is? Yeah, Frecky's one of Odin's 2 dogs are wolves. She's like, oh my god, yes.
See, I didn't even know.
Also, she loved that I put Frecky as the side wolf. Jerry is apparently the favorite. It's Jerry with an I, which also made me laugh. It's like, it's not like a weird Scandinavian, like there's not like extra H's in there. It's just Jerri. So the thing is that there are some other creatures that fall underneath the black dog description. There's the Padfoot, the Hairy Jack, the Skriker, the Capelwaite or Chapel Wraith, Mordidu from the Isle of Man, which is the inspiration for Mordu from Disney's Brave, the Gatrash, the Snarlgast, the Swan, which is the Hounds of Arran, which are the dogs that literally guard the gates of the Welsh afterlife, or are also the Hounds of Irish Heroes. The Kusith, which is the Kushi, which is a high fae in the courts, which is basically a big, large magic dog, or the one that sounds incredibly bad when I say it, and I will describe it after this, which does not make it much better. It's the Shug Monkey. It sounds so bad. It
sounds racist, but it also sounds like a 70s pimp.
Yeah.
Does that sound... me thinking about that being a 70s pimp is kind of racist.
Kind of racist, yeah. But here's the deal, is when I got a pet in, or I should say Phil got a pet in Tears of Kairos, they wanted me to have a weird abomination for a pet, and they found this, and eventually we just started calling him a Shug. But what a Shug Monkey is it is a monkey dog centaur. So take a capuchin and stick it on a Labrador. Sometimes the description is this more like a capuchin head or a monkey head, and the front limbs are ape-like while the rest of the body is canid. So it's like a werewolf stuck halfway. Little Sebastard was his name, and I gave him a knife, and he just started juggling it. Never did anything. Most useless thing ever, because he was not a familiar. He was literally a pet that I gave a knife, and he kept finding more knives. So by the end of it, he's just doing like West Side Story, tossing the knives between hand to hand, giving me advantage to intimidation checks because of my terrible, terrible pet behind me that was basically a dog capuchin hybrid that was the worst version of Centaur.
Lord, you went through all these names. I can't remember any of them except for Shook Monkey, because that
Snarlgast is pretty good though.
Snarlgast.
I always recognize Kusith because I will not mess with anything that is in the high she.
Kusith sounds like some Star Wars bullshit.
Well, I mean, it's also Kate Sith.
Oh, Kate Sith.
Kate Sith is Kate Sith.
Okay. Yeah,
Kate Sith is the name of the highest Malk / supernatural cat, the king of cats. That's a fae.
Yeah, I think they gave Kate Sith in the new game
a Scottish accent,
which is great.
So, do you want to know some other creatures that fall underneath the umbrella of Grosse Betaille?
Sure.
The Rougarou.
Okay.
Bigfoot.
Really?
Tai-Tais that I mentioned with Madame Longfingers.
Okay.
The cockroaches with human heads that try to steal your toes.
I don't like that.
Yeah. Think of Rad Roach with like Gary Busey face.
I don't want to.
Hey, Chris. Have them toes.
Hey, I need a good snack tonight.
I just need a pinky toe, man.
Give me a little bit of a...
Just a little. Yeah, we've made this creature. The Wild Men of Catahoula.
Okay.
Skunk Ape.
Yeah.
Falk Monster. The
Hugging Boy.
Honey Island Swamp Monster.
Okay.
Yetis, werewolves, Latesh, hairless bears.
Hairless bears. So not just normal bears, but they got to have the mange.
Okay, here's the deal. Hairless bears are 100% a real creature, and they are the most terrifying things I could think of to run into the woods, because
so much muscle, you don't know how much.
But the thing is, they look like a Jack version of Sid from Ice Age, and I wasn't ready for that.
So they are this creature, though.
No, they're not this creature. I'm just putting that they, like, I've seen a lot of, like, other monsters that were described like, that's a hairless bear. So I threw hairless bears underneath Grosse Betaille because it is a large, scary monster.
So what you're saying, Grosse Betaille is a
umbrella term for a lot of big monsters that I'm not going to go into lycanthropes, werewolves, which one of my favorite lycanthropes that popped up underneath this umbrella are weregoats.
Who doesn't like a good weregoat?
I hate goats personally because they're mean, but someone out there loves goats. That's on you. You love them and they love you back. I'm happy for you. We have an understanding. They taste good, therefore they get to continue to exist, just like my agreement with chickens. But
anyway,
so anyway, dude, Grosse Betaille is just a term for a big monster, but the most reports of it sound like a black dog from Fae or hellhounds from hell. So the thing is that it's neat. I'm going to 100% say that the Grosse Betaille, depending on what creature you're talking about, is real.
I mean, it sounds like depending on how you interpret it, I mean, it could be real, but either way, thank you for telling me this.
I mean, it was fun. This was fun because
I like the idea of something that is like, it has stories, but it also it
connects to some other stuff.
Yeah, it connects into other stuff. I think that's pretty interesting. Like, I thought it was a bug thing. Maybe it was the Betaille.
It's because it's Betaille, and it does technically mean a bug, so that's why tie-ties fit into that.
Yeah.
That's why Mothman would fit into that. But then we
started talking about dogs, and it's like, okay.
Well, that's because all the reports are about like a dog.
Yeah, but it's fine.
You know what? Honestly, I believe Knox would fall underneath Grosse Betaille. Large, hairy thing.
Oh my god. Yeah, okay, fair. Sorry, Knox. Anyway, we are Backwoods Obscura. We release episodes every Tuesday. We are on most podcatchers. And we should be setting up our social medias sometime soon. We are also Team Bonus Action. If you want to go through Team Bonus Action,
you can find us at teambonusaction.com. You can also find us on YouTube, Instagram, Blue Skies, Threads, Facebook, Twitch. All is Team Bonus Action, or on Twitter as bonus_team. And we are a charity D&D/RPG tabletop group, and sometimes video games. And proceeds from any donations that come to us go towards children's charities. Right now, we are still partnered with the Trevor Project. We'll be partnered some other times in the year with St. Jude, or with the Children's Miracle Network of Hospitals, or random reading charities. So if you can donate, please do. We'd greatly appreciate it. And even if you don't watch us, if you want to go donate to those charities, it'd be awesome.
Go do it.
Yeah, because helping kids is the point. Our games might not be child friendly, but we're always there to help.
The future. We want to help the people that'll make the world better.
Exactly.
But anyway, thank you for listening, and we'll see you next week.
Yeah, next week.
Yeah, next
week. I mean, at some point, we're coming from the future.
We're coming from the future. We don't know when this episode's going to release.
Actually, that means we're coming from the past.
We're coming from the past.
Have a nice drive, everybody.